Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny and today we have a fun project on tap. We are going to plant the nice huge water trough here at the nursery. If you will remember, we have just a livestock water trough that Jerry ran to the hardware store and got for me a couple of years ago. I said get the biggest one they have, and it has been quite the attraction here at the nursery because we do have it right here in front of the barn, and the barn is really big, so we need a big container to make a big impact that you can see from a distance. And I'm telling you, because this is right beside where our customers check out, it is always a talking point and people are very interested in it, and I try to plant it differently every year. Like I try to really switch it up. I don't want to stick with just petunias one year. I like to keep things fresh and going and just have lots of fun. We're definitely going to have lots of fun with it this year because just the whole design is going to be completely different, and we're going to be using a bunch of the new trial plants that we are trialing for proven winners. These will be, not all of them, but the vast majority of them will be available for you in 2023. So I will tell you which plants are available now and which ones are kind of a teaser that you get to wait until next year and purchase them. But that is part two of why we're putting them in this water trough, is so that we can see how they perform. The plants we're going to use. So we have two of the really fun new introductions from proven winners are climbing sweet potato vines. And when I saw this, I was thinking, okay, you know, like really, how much can a sweet potato vine climb? Well, I was in the production house yesterday working and organizing, and let me tell you, they climb. So this is one of them, and you can see that tendril, it really does climb. So I have put an obelisk in the center of the water trough, and we're going to alternate the green, the lime, and the dark purple together and let them climb up the obelisk. So we'll have that nice centerpiece. So we're going to be using these guys. We're also going to pop in, and I don't know have the exact design in my head yet, so it'll be, this is how Jenny just rolls. But this is Queen Tut. Queen Tut is brand new this year. You can see that she is much more kind of open and spiky, not quite the pronounced blooms per se that Prince Tut has. So I've got some of those we're going to stick in there. We're going to use the wonderful, the tried and true, cannot go wrong, absolute winner of a plant, the Wicked Witch coleus. This is not new. This is available now. It's been out for a couple of years. One of my all-time favorite coleuses. We're going to use one on each end of the water trough to kind of give it some anchor and some weight and hold that. So we're going to use that. We are going to use another coleus that's brand new next year. Really fun. This is watermelon. And watermelon, I think you can tell from the color on it how it got its name, but it is a petite, shorter coleus than like Wicked Witch, because Wicked Witch can get nice and big, right? This is going to be more petite, so I can use this more like a filler. So this will be really fun. Have several of those we're going to plop in there. There is a new petunia, Supertunia Mini Vista Red. And this is a beautiful shade of red. It's I wouldn't call it like a fire engine red. It's more of a softer red. A little bit on the pink side, but it's still very much that red color. It's very much kind of like a watermelon color. So that'll pair really nicely with the watermelon coleus. So we're going to put that in there. And even though it is a Supertunia, it's the Mini Vista, right? So Mini Vista will still trail, but it's not going to be nearly as vigorous as my Vistas. I have put Vistas in this water trough before, and I'm constantly cutting it because they just trail so much. This will give me a nice spiller without being like out of control. Another fun little spiller that we're going to do that's to kind of go with all these same colors is a new portulaca. Look at that beautiful, solid, just gorgeous yellow portulaca. Huge blooms on this sucker. So we're going to stick that in on the front too as well to be a bit of a spiller. And then the other I'll stick a couple of these in here for fun. This is a wire vine. And wire vines are not new to the market. It's not a new introduction, but it is new as far as with Proven Winners in their Proven Accents line. Really fun. I have this in the Unique Stone Asian water bowl over there, and it just gives a fun, different texture. It's a little whimsical. Maybe not Jerry's favorite, but it is a lot of fun and whimsy, so we're gonna stick that in there as well. And of course, you cannot do the water trough without caladiums. So we have got Scarlet Flame. We already put it over there. Let me move the camera around and we'll show you Scarlet Flame. All right, so here we have, and this is the water trough. You can see I've already got the obelisk in here. I know you'll probably ask, I got this obelisk like years, and like, I think maybe Emily was born, maybe she was born. So I mean, we're talking about like 17, 18 years ago that I got this thing at the Southern Christmas show in Charlotte. So I just got it from a vendor. So really kind of any kind of obelisk or anything that's upright that will be sturdy, feel free to stick in there. Of course, it has lots of good feet in there, so it's nice and sturdy in there. So we have this. This is what we're gonna put the sweet potato vine on. This is the Scarlet Flame, and Scarlet Flame is just a fantastic, beautiful caladium that will be sun or shade. So you can see that it's got those green edges, the red center with a little flecks of pink in there. And I do like this because, one, it's gorgeous, obviously, but two, because this container, even though we're in the shade right now, the sun comes up straight in front of me. This gets 5 to 6 hours of good hot morning sun before it starts to set behind the barn. So this will technically be a full sun, even part sun container. Coleus does amazing well in here. The petunias I've done before, and they do great. So it does get enough sun for your full sun plants, but also ones that can handle some shade do well in here also. So it can be a little bit of a tricky spot to plant. There are, I did not drill drain holes in the bottom of this container. Everybody always asks me that. But there is a drain hole in the back because this is a livestock water trough. In the back, there is a drain hole about 1 inch, 2 inches above the base in the back. When we installed this, we left the drain hole open. So I don't ever have to fear about it overflowing, but I didn't put drain holes in it because it acts semi like a self-watering container, so that it holds a little bit of water in the bottom for me, and so the rest of the soil will wick up that moisture. We're not having to water it every, once a day. Even in the heat of the summer, it's like once a week that we water these things. When we first planted this and installed this, we filled it completely up with brand new potting soil, straight from the bottom all the way to the top. Yes, in the beginning it was a ton of potting soil, but it has given me years of gorgeous plants. We do not put fillers in it. Last year I had Prince Tut and Coleus in here, and I had caladiums, other things too, but it was the Prince Tut that I just took out a couple of weeks ago, and man, I had to like dig down in there because their roots were massive. Took out a bunch of the soil when I took those plants out, and with their root system was in there. So a lot of those, the soil was removed because of the roots that were in the water trough. I added probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 bags of fresh soil on top, but just get all those big clumps of roots out and it will do fine. So without further ado, I'm gonna grab the plants and I'm gonna try to figure out how I'm gonna design this. This is gonna be a fun planter. I can't wait to do that. All right, let me get some plants. So I think I have everybody placed where I want them to go, but I am not going to clear this out and then start planting because I'll never remember exactly where I was supposed to have everybody. It is going to be pretty full from the beginning, but that's all right. This is definitely, if there was a container that I wanted to be more full faster than it is here, because this is such a high visibility space, and starting tomorrow I will have folks standing right here inspecting and looking at the plants. So I want it to be fuller faster. That is why we just kind of jam-packed everything in here. Everything is in a single except, so for the Queen Tuts, I did go ahead and pair them up as 2 on each side. We have 3 of the Scarlet Flames, like a ribbon coming from the back and fanning out with those Queen Tuts behind it. And then I did 1 Wicked Witch and 1 of the watermelons on each side. Then, of course, with the obelisk, we have 2 of the greens and 2 of the black sweet potato vines. The greens are directly across from each other, and as are the blacks. I'm going to plant them with, as far as like centered with the stakes. That way they can have something to grab onto immediately and begin to climb as it goes up. Then I did go ahead and double up the portulaca and the mini Vista reds. So we have 2 reds, 2 portulacas on each side of the container, and there is 1 of the wire vine on each side. If I end up having a little pocket of room somewhere on the outside, like the outer rim, then I will add in some more of the wire vine. But I'm just going to go ahead and start planting. I'm going to go for it. The trough is balanced on each side, so it's very symmetrical. That way it'll give a very balanced look to this barn when folks are coming up to it. So without further ado, I am just going to get these in the ground, in the pot, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. All right, guys, the water trough is all planted. It is very full. I may be regretting how many plants I put in here in the coming months, but I don't think so. It will be interesting to see how everybody does, because so many of these are trial plants, and we're going to see what they do, and you get to watch it grow and develop along with us as the season goes along. I'm really curious to see how vigorous these sweet potato vines are. You can see that they are starting to trail. I was able to get a couple of the little tendrils and to begin wrapping them around the obelisk. But my vision would be that if the whole thing's not covered, you know, but that a good bit would be covered, so that you would see all of this lime green, black coming out of this trough. But yeah, we will keep you definitely updated and see how everybody does. Queen Tut is definitely new for me. Well, I mean, they're all new, but you know, how's she gonna do compared to the other ones? Because I've only ever grown Prince Tut. Prince Tut is the one that we've always done, so this will be fun to see how Miss Queen does, along with the watermelon, coleus, and then the mini Vista and the portulaca. So it will be lots of fun to see this grow and develop. Stay tuned throughout this growing season, and we will give you updates on it. But as always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a fabulous day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends. you.